Hello and welcome to Writing America, Pages and People. If you're here to learn about an American author and some of their works, then you're in the right place. My name is Rachel Rigolino and I'm an instructor in the English department at the State University of New York at New Paltz. So come on, we'll watch this video and leave some comments below.
Mary Wilkins was born in a small town in Massachusetts in 1852. Throughout her adult life, she supported herself by writing short stories, plays, novels, and children's fiction. When she married in 1902, she took her husband's last name and requested that her works be published under Mary Wilkins Freeman. Today she is best known for her short fiction. Like Nathaniel Hawthorne, Freeman set many of her stories in New England. In her preface to her first short story collection, entitled A Humble Romance and Other Stories, Freeman notes that her subject matter consists of, quote, the descendants of the Massachusetts Bay colonists, in whom can still be seen traces of will and conscience, so strong as to be almost exaggerations and deformities, which characterized their ancestors. Freeman gained initial fame as a regionalist writer, and her post-Civil War landscapes are less bucolic than they are haunted by economic failure and a dwindling population. Readers of Edith Wharton's short novels, Ethan Frome and Summer, will recognize the setting. Critics have noted that the small towns Freeman writes about are mainly populated by women, left behind by husbands and sons who have deserted the hill towns for cities in search of employment. Many of the central characters in Freeman's fiction are strong women who manage to survive in spite of the poverty of their surroundings. Old Woman Magoun is one of these fierce characters. The story's narrator observes that, quote, the weakness of the masculine element in Barry's Ford was laid low before her strenuous feminine assertion. She shames the men of the community into building a bridge, an achievement which connects their small town to the outside world. However, Magoun's power is limited. In the end, she does not have the resources, either social or economic, to protect her beautiful granddaughter from the male gaze and all of its implications. I should note here that the illustrations I have included in this lecture are of a young girl of 7 or 8, but remember that the narrator tells us that Lily is almost 14. In her article entitled The Subversion of Genre in the Short Stories of Mary Wilkins Freeman, scholar Kate Gardner observes, I can think of few stories more painfully aware of the limits to a woman's power in a male world. And critic Mary Reichardt finds Old Woman Magoun to be the most pessimistic of all of Freeman's stories. How the reader is to interpret the grandmother's decision is left open. Does Wilkins want us to recoil in horror at Old Woman Magoun and the poisoning of her granddaughter? Or are we to be upset more by the socio-economic deprivation in which she and her granddaughter live? Or perhaps we are to be shocked at the depravity of the men in Barry's Ford. In the final paragraph of the story, the narrator notes that in spite of what she has done, Old Woman Magoun's life, quote, went on as usual. She continued to live as she had done before. She supported herself by the produce of her tiny farm. She was very industrious. This observation speaks to the strength of the descendants of the Massachusetts Bay colonists, those people and characters Freeman was so eager to capture in her fiction, the men and women who had for centuries withstood brutal winters and rocky, unyielding farmland. But then the narrator adds the final line, leaving the reader with a haunting image. Quote, people said that she was a trifle touched, since every time she went over the log bridge with her eggs or her garden vegetables to sell in Greenham, she carried with her, as one might have carried an infant, Lily's Old Rag Doll.